Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. I am completely and totally lost track of time. It is 20 minutes after 12, so let's see if we can even wake up Raj because we're so late. Let's go on our little Facey book here, and if I can find it. I was busy. I was really busy doing other things, let me tell you. So I was like, oh, I wonder what time it is. I looked at the clock, and it's late. It's late, quite late. All right, I've set everything up. We are now calling him on the phone. I'm so embarrassed. I'm incredibly late. I've actually been busy. I haven't gone to sleep, and I've been busy the whole time. I've actually been up all for 24 hours, I think, at this point.
You start thinking other than the fact that daylight savings. Oh, why am I not on?
I don't know.
I see you. Do you hear me at all?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just. All right, it's better. All right. Happy Tuesday.
Tuesday. It's Monday.
Sun's up here. We had a daylight interruption.
Daylight savings is
Nice.
saving.
Well, that 1 hour of daylight I saved up. That 1 hour, I saved it that whole year. Well, I spent it sleeping. Oh, there you go.
I wish I did that. I slept less over the weekend.
You save up an entire hour and you sleep it away. That's the way it works. Are you ready to read headlines? I don't have any, but go ahead.
Okay. Today on Before Coffee, earthquake victims have to wait weeks for a Dutch visa.
Basketball and bank failures.
Confrontation of migrants and customs at the U.S.-Mexico border.
Trump endangered my family, says Mike Pence.
Storm Freddie makes landfall in Africa for the second time. At least 11 dead in Malawi.
Right on. And that, those stories and more. Because I've already given you 3 stories. So those stories and more. Basketball and bank failures.
Oh, right, of course.
Those stories and more. And this day in history on the March 13th,
Yep.
2023, before coffee. See the sun.
All right. Let's make it as quick as possible. That's fine.
Right.
I'm not on a tight schedule. All right, for our first news story, let's go with the earthquake. As you remember, back in February, there was a huge earthquake in Turkey and Syria. And now we're dealing with the consequences of people wanting to not live in a disaster zone. More than a month after the earthquake in Turkey and Syria, few people from the disaster area received a visa for the Netherlands, says lawyers. Despite the priority they should be given with their application is processed, it takes weeks to get people to the Netherlands who want to stay with relatives here. Hundreds of family members from Turkey and Syria have indicated that they want to stay temporarily with relatives in the Netherlands. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirms that visas have been issued, but does not specify numbers. Lawyers see that only a few are allowed to temporarily move in with a family member in the Netherlands. Sending documents to Turkey, making an appointment at the consulate, and processing a visa makes the whole process take weeks, says lawyer Ismet Ozakara. Of the nearly 40 families he's assisted from the earthquake zone, 2 have a visa. 40! 2 out of 40. Since a month ago, basically. Wow. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced a month ago that people from the disaster area will be given priority when applying for a visa. The ministry says it cannot place the image that families have to wait for weeks. It takes a few days or even a week to make an appointment with the municipality. Then the documents have to be sent to Turkey by post, which also takes weeks, says Aydin, a lawyer who helps dozens of families get visas. Lawyer Silan sees the process to obtain a visa and more difficult than expected. But it is really good that a gesture is made to the victims of the earthquake with priority. In addition, obtaining a visa in a normal situation can easily take several months. Other countries have taken measures to make it easier for people from the disaster area to obtain a visa. Germany, which also gives priority to those affected by the earthquake, has issued more than 1,000 visas. Austria has issued 20 visas so far.
In financially unstable news, a large bank fails. The Silicon Valley Bank in California collapsed on Friday. The collapse on Friday of Silicon Valley Bank, the second largest bank failure in U.S. history, sent anxiety across the financial system and shook the tech industry, raising concerns about whether companies will be able to get their money back and pay their employees. The federal government took over the bank after a surprise filing Wednesday night revealed that it had sold $21 billion in assets and was loading stock to raise money. Here are some of the companies affected by the fall of Silicon Valley Bank, which was known for serving startups, tech companies, and venture capitalists. Roku, the company that has built a brand of low-priced streaming devices, said in a filing that it had about 487 million of its 109 billion in Silicon Valley Bank. About 26% of the firm's cash is gone. Anyway, just gone. Now the federal government could step in on it, do something for them, but I don't know. They only deposit $250,000. The federal government only guarantees $250,000 of your deposit, and they had 487 million. That's just an example of one company that you may have heard of, Roku. The company's deposits with SVB are largely uninsured, said the filing, which was signed by Roku chief financial officer. At this time, the company does not know what extent the company will be able to cover its cash or deposits from SVB. Another company that's losing a lot of cash. This is cash just going down the drain as if it never existed, folks. Imagine that. Yeah. Imagine if and you can only recover 250,000 of it. So, man. Circle payments from the technology firm Circle tweeted Friday that 3.3 billion of its 40 billion is on. Here's another company, Roblox, the California-based online gaming platform with metaverse ambitions. Roblox, yeah, okay, yeah. They had only about 5% of its cash was kept in that. So, Etsy, yeah. The online marketplace. They're not disclosed.
They're not disclosing. It must be huge.
Yeah. Not unknown how many. BlockFi is another one. Compass Coffee, Camp. These are companies that you may not even know who they are because they're subsidiaries, you know.
Yeah.
X Therapeutics. And there was a list of companies, second largest bank failure in U.S. history, and we're wondering if it's going to affect any other banks when they open any minute now. just just like It's a Wonderful Life, with George Bailey. If you close your doors on Friday, it'll never reopen. So we'll see if there's any other banks that are going to fail. If there's a domino effect, it's a little, but there's a stock market's open. Well, they've opened in Europe already. All right, go ahead, your story.
All right. That's really great to hear, as I've been doing finances since yesterday, that I'm maybe going to be getting USD in a different rate. Might be happening. It might be bad. Might be good. I don't know.
I don't think it's going to affect
Exchange?
Totally. I don't think it will. I think it'll affect individual companies' stock prices. Whoever had their money in, a lot of liquid funds in one particular bank.
Yeah.
Spread that money out, folks. You never know who's going to be being a crook or doing more investments. Go ahead.
All right. We're going to actually cover some American news here, or North American even. There was a confrontation between border guards and migrants at the U.S.-Mexico border yesterday. The migrants were stopped after they attempted to seek asylum in the United States from Mexico. Many of them had children with them. At one point, some migrants tried to throw an orange plastic barrier at the U.S. side of the border, Reuters news agency reported. The U.S. border guards then used, among other things, pepper spray to repel the migrants. After some pushing and shoving, the custom officers, the group finally withdrew. Some went to the banks of Rio Grande, where they were checked by U.S. immigration officials stationed on the other side. The migrants, mostly from Venezuela, said that they were frustrated because they couldn't make an appointment to apply for asylum using a new app from the U.S. government. Under the Biden administration, an app called CBP-1 was developed that aims to streamline asylum applications. But according to users, the app suffers from persistent glitches. As a result, asylum seekers remain uncertain whether they can cross the border into the United States. An 18-year-old migrant Reuters spoke to described her situation as terrible, and she said she had been trying to cross the border for a month, saw her money disappear, and got no closer to seeking asylum. "We'd like answers," she said. App CBP-1 has done absolutely nothing for us. Every day, hundreds of migrants and refugees from South and Central America try to illegally cross the border in the United States. Last year, nearly 2 million people were arrested. The mayor of border town El Paso, Texas, declared a state of emergency at the end of last year because the shelters were full and people had to sleep outside. President Biden recently introduced new immigration laws designed to discourage migrants from coming to the U.S. Cubans, Haitians, Venezuelans will be stopped at the border, and the number of nationalities that can return to Mexico will be expanded. Mexico has had problems with migrants coming to the U.S. from Central America for years. They are in large numbers at the border and try to cross it illegally. Human traffickers are also active. The country is suffering greatly from the American migration policy, which means, among other things, that people in Mexico have to wait for their asylum procedure. In addition, there is a lot of gang violence and drug smuggling in the north of the country. The world never changes.
Yeah. Border skirmishes, just people trying to have something besides a shitty life. Yep. Oh, and in sports news, the NCAA basketball tournament's getting underway with the first 68 teams of the men's tournament announced yesterday. The number one regions, we have Alabama in the south, we have Houston in the Midwest, we have Kansas in the east. Kansas in the west region, number one, and then number one in the east region is Purdue. 2 seeds include Marquette, UCLA, UConn, and Arizona. So this is one of the biggest sporting events in the United States, simply because college basketball is so even that any team can beat any team. These seedings are fun. They're numbers, but a lot of times they don't mean anything. You have a number 1 versus a 16, for instance. I don't think a 1 is only lost to a 16 once, but it can happen. And the seedings are increasingly less interesting. I was thinking about having a contest. You want to have a contest?
Contest about sports?
No, you just pick your brackets. You don't have to know anything. In fact, knowing anything about any of these teams is a handicap. Because once you think this team is so good, I watched them play like all season, and they play some team you never saw, who are like cruise through their conference because they're really good, and they play your team, who had a tough game every week, and they're fucking like, oh, we're gonna beat the shit out of this crappy team. Then the crappy team wins by 20 points. Because you'd have no clue. You have no clue. So, or you can give it to somebody who's never, give your little brackets to somebody who's never picked a game before, and they'll win the whole thing. There'll be 15 people in a pool. So that's the way this works.
Oh, so. Right. I just looked up the bracket, which we just did the first round, right?
Yeah. No, the first rounds
I want to do the first round.
The first round games are tomorrow.
Okay.
They're usually teams that just barely made it. Okay. So they're going to eliminate 4 teams tomorrow, right? That's it. 4 games, 4 teams. Then there's going to be, on Thursday, there's going to be 32 games. Right? No, Thursday and Friday there's going to be 32 games to eliminate 60. Well, eliminate half of the team.
Yeah, that's right? What I'm looking at now. First round, March 16th and 17th. It's basically like every state that has a basketball team.
Yeah, it's 64 teams. I mean, some states have 4 teams, you know.
And the first 4 is what's happening today. That's what you were talking about. These guys are so bad that they're just like.
They're not bad. None of these teams. Okay, none of these.
Right, you just said they aren't bad. I'm sorry.
None of them are losing records. No bad teams. Okay.
Yeah.
There's just so many teams. There's over 300 teams. Okay. So the top 68 make it. There's a bunch of conferences. You have conference championships. You have
It's like how they do high school, right? You start in your local area and then you go out and out and out until you've.
And they do the same thing for the women's tournament. We can do the same thing for that too, because I know even less about that. The only problem with the women's tournament is because of the quality of play has not been brought up by the smaller schools, right?
Yeah.
Because of many players, you're going to get a lot of blowouts in the first round. That's the only problem with the women's. There are going to be a lot of blowouts. They're going to be.
Where do you even find that though? Oh, here it is. WBB. Oh, they don't have the brackets out yet, I think.
They haven't played the conference tournaments yet. So they haven't played the brackets yet. But when they do, they'll, like I said, the first round, I'm not saying this to be mean or anything, it's just that the first round games are going to be blowouts. It's like the men's basketball in the 1970s, if they would have left 68 men's teams in, there would have been just blowout after blowout. There weren't enough good teams. Back then, UCLA would win the championship every year. Every year. It would be just like, hey, who's going to lose to UCLA in the finals this year? That's what it was. Women's basketball was like that a few years ago. It was, who's going to lose to Connecticut in the finals this year? That's all it was. It was like, let's watch Connecticut blow somebody out. So that's the problem they've had with, hopefully, what they call is NIL, name, image, likeness. College students can sell their name, their image, and their likeness. They never could before. College athletes. Now they have that. They can make separate income based on their athletic talents. Not have to go.
God forbid they're not sweating away for their college while they rack up all the money from their performance, right?
Eat a meal without having to live on campus per diem.
Yeah.
Eat at the chow hall every day.
I'm interested. I'm looking at the women's bracket and the male's bracket. So I guess what are we doing? We're picking 4 teams and seeing if they make it to the end?
Do it in your spare time. Do it in your spare time. Takes too long.
I thought you wanted to do it for the show so that every time there's a game we can go, oh, you were wrong. You don't want to do that?
No. No way is there enough time to do one, not even one bracket in one segment could we do in one show. You just
you can just cover saying they lost. Okay, you lost because you said they were going to get to. Yeah.
Make your picks off the air, right?
Yeah.
And then we just run them down. We just sit there and go.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Whoa, they got those pointing cards. You're regular.
No, don't know anything about that. I just want to know. I just want to throw my lot in, and then we can read it on. I guess tomorrow there'll be the first 4 game, and then the first game for the women's is on.
Or get the first 4 games.
Okay. Don't care.
Those teams. Those teams are going to lose in the next round. They're going to lose. They barely. They're gonna okay. 4 teams are getting eliminated tomorrow. They might make it. I won't say they won't win, but I'm just saying if you want to pick the first 4 games, okay, fine. But the real tournament starts Thursday.
Okay. I'm just saying we can do like a warm up, to the idea tomorrow.
Yeah. Next story. We can pick 4 games tomorrow.
Yeah, we've been talking about this story for 15 minutes, I think, but hey, that's sports for you. All right. For my story, we've got... Sorry?
Oh, but there's more going on in sports if you want to know. Go ahead.
Okay. For my story, we're going to talk about some not sports, definitely not sports. In Malawi, in Africa, there has been a flood, and 11 people have been killed in the tropical storm Freddie. I always love when they give tropical storms and hurricanes really friendly names, like Freddie. Hey, it's Freddie! Oh, he killed my family.
I wonder if he bought snacks today. I wonder if we're going to watch movies with Freddie.
Freddie made landfall in southern Africa via Mozambique for the 2nd time last weekend. The storm is accompanied by heavy rainfall and devastating wind gusts. Wind speeds of 155 kilometers per hour have been measured at sea, which I think is like half that, like 30 or something.
No, 60.
Wait, 60? I can't do math. I've been doing accounting all morning on a calculator, okay? Now in my head. Anyways, very, very big wind. Mozambique Disaster Relief Service has housed thousands of people in bomb shelters when the tropical storm first made landfall late last month. It killed 27 people in Mozambique and the neighboring island state of Madagascar. Aid organizations are concerned about the consequences of Freddie for the population. Malawi is still recovering from previous tropical storms, Anna and Gombe, or is it Gombe, that hit the country just over a year ago. The region is also facing an extremely worrying outbreak of cholera. Wow, they're sharing that with everyone in Turkey and Syria as well.
Yeah.
The outbreak is caused by poor water and sanitation, as we've learned in our previous coverage over Turkey and Syria. Freddie probably breaks the record for the longest lasting tropical storm ever recorded. Oh, wow. Freddie's going for it, for the goal. A 36-day long storm. That's a whole month of just... Is it raining? Yep, it's still raining. Get your boats out. Get your freaking... What do you call them?
Those are poor... they probably don't have anything.
Well, no, they can't because it's been raining for a month. You can't really rebuild in the middle of a flood.
I don't think they had much to begin with.
The previous record, according to the UN World Meteorological Organization, was a 31-day storm in 1994. Wow, as old as me is that that record. Storms are getting stronger due to climate change. They get their energy from the heat of the seawater, which is warming due to climate change. And that article just ends there. Like 2 sentences. This is climate change, by the way. Just in case you forgot. Next story.
Okay, more human tragedy. Okay, let's see. Mike Pence. This is from Rolling Stone. Mike Pence is talking to people.
I hope so. It's his job.
His job is to disappear and go away.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Former President Mike Pence gave some of his strongest public criticism to ex-boss on Saturday, accusing the former president of putting his family in danger. It only took him 2 years to get mad. President Trump was wrong, Pence said. I gotta emphasize how angry Mike Pence gets. Donald Trump was wrong, he said. During this, it's at a gridiron dinner, which is supposed to be a one where you roast people.
Yeah.
Informal hosted by journalistic organization the Gridiron Club. I had no right to overturn the election, and his reckless words endangered my family and everyone in the Capitol that day. And I know that history will hold Donald Trump accountable. Well, there you go, Mikey. You know, you Donald Trump, oh boy, you get me so mad one of these days I'm gonna just break a sweat. Pence and his family were present in the Capitol during the attack of January 6th. It was Bring Your Family to Work to Get Murdered Day, apparently. Protesters descended into the building. That was editorial.
Yeah.
Protesters descended on the building, and some of the mob chanted, "Hang Mike Pence," and actually erected a gallows because the vice president refused to stop the counting of electoral votes. He refused. There's nothing he could fucking do about it, and even if he wanted to. Everybody stop voting. Everybody was like, no, we're not going to stop. Next vote. You know, Mike Pence had no authority to do shit. Anyway, Mike either count the votes or we'll get somebody else to do it. That's what his job was. Pence also made jokes at Trump's expense during the dinner. He said that Trump's ego is so delicate that he asked Pence to perform the song "Wind Beneath My Wings" at their lunches each way. That was a joke. Okay, these are the jokes, but you believe Trump would say this. Okay, here's Trump's jokes. I should actually try to do them. He said that Trump's ego was so delicate that he asked Pence to perform the song "Wind Beneath My Wings" at their lunches each week, and he sniped at Trump's handling of classified documents, saying, "I read that some of those classified documents they found at Mar-a-Lago were actually stuck in the president's Bible, which proves that he had absolutely no idea that they were there." That's pretty good. Taking a swipe at the many investigations Trump is subject to, Pence said, "Honestly, I learned a lot working besides Donald Trump, like about subpoenas, for example."
Never happened until this time.
Pence's comments served to distance itself from Trump as the former VP considers a potential 2024 presidential run. "I was in the news last week when they declined to say whether I would support one of the other possible Republican candidates for 2024. Let me clear it up tonight. I will wholeheartedly, undeservedly support the Republican nominee for president in 2024 if it's me." So basically, Pence doing his Trump impersonation. That's exactly what Trump. I'll support it if it's me. Well, that's not the question there, dickwad. Again, these poor bastards, I swear to God, they are so unaware of, maybe they're aware of how screwed they are, because they have no center, they have no policies, but I don't even know how they get out of it. What are they supposed to do? I'm going to just, anyway, your story. Hell, ended this weekend. I'll look something else up.
All right. For my media news, this was actually top news over the weekend. Gary Lineker returned to the BBC. The former footballer was suspended from Britain's public service broadcasting on Friday after a controversy sparked a tweet in which he called Britain's new asylum policy incredibly cruel and compared the government's language to that of Nazi Germany. "Gary is a valued part of the BBC, and I know how much the BBC means to Gary, and I look forward to him presenting our coverage over the weekend," BBC Director General Tim Davie said in a statement. Davie also says that there will be a review of existing social media guidelines at the broadcaster. The evaluation is done by an independent expert who reports to the BBC. Therein will be in particular attention to how it applies to non-news and current affairs freelancers such as Lineker. The Director General says that BBC and Lineker welcome such a review. Who will carry out the evaluation will soon be announced. Lineker welcomes the return. I'm glad we found a way forward. I support this review and look forward to getting back on air. The BBC's current social media guidelines will remain in place for the duration of the investigation. Lineker adds that although he had some difficult days, it is incomparable to what refugees have to go through. On Friday, the BBC indicated that Lineker will remain off-air until he takes a consenting and clear position on the use of his social media. According to the BBC, the presenter's Twitter message violated the guidelines of the public broadcaster. Lineker had violated the broadcaster's principle of neutrality, according to the BBC. According to guidelines of the BBC handbook, employees are not allowed to take political views on channel or via social media. After Lineker's provisional suspension, other sport commentators such as Ian Wright and Alan Shearer, as well as presenters such as Colin Murray and Mark Chapman, all decided to stop working. As a result, the football program Match of the Day was broadcast without the usual presentation, analysis, and interviews with players and trainers, and without Lineker. Lineker now thanks his colleagues at BBC Sport for the remarkable show of solidarity and calls the support overwhelming. I don't know if you heard about this, but basically, he said something political, and then they were like, you can't do that. Hey, you're calling out the government for being bad. So they suspended him, and then everyone else went, wait a minute, isn't the owner of the BBC donating $80,000 a year to the Conservative Party? That's not very impartial. It's not very impartial. Didn't he donate like $200K to Boris Johnson, the former Prime Minister? It's not very impartial. So everyone started doing that.
But England's leading export is hypocrisy.
Yeah.
This day in history. Are we?
Yeah, you're good. You're alive.
Seamlessly. If we were pros, we'd seamlessly transition into this. If we were pros, which are clearly not. So don't expect.
Well, I would be able to point at you and tell you're alive, and you would know what that is. But I think if I did this, you'd be like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that?"
The extended pause is my clue. No pointing. I don't need a director. I need extended pause. Like I'm an intuitive animal, like a crow or a raven or something like that.
I'm just used as a director. I'm used to actually having to say and go and live. So that's why I'm like, I know I can't do that with you, which is why I don't do it.
Okay, this day in history, March 13th. In the year, let's go back to this year. In the year 1781, Uranus was discovered. I was going to say Uranus was discovered, but fill in your jokes. I will say Uranus was discovered in 1781 on this day.
My joke was going to be, I've been looking for that for ages. That's what my joke's going to be. Finally.
It was years before they discovered the rings, though.
Yeah.
Rings around Uranus, rings around. Susan B. Anthony died at this day in 1906. Feminist Susan B. Anthony. L. Ron Hubbard.
Voting and stuff.
L. Ron Hubbard, founder of Scientology, was born on this day in 1911. On this day in 2011, American boxer, 2021, American boxer Marvin Hagler died. On this day in 2020, the Louisville police accidentally shoot Breonna Taylor while she was harming no one in her home.
Yeah, it was one of those home invasions by the police.
No-knock warrants is what they call them. Yeah. No-knock warrants. Somebody's house and just frickin' kick in the door and scare the fuck out of people, and they went to a house or looking for a guy, wasn't even there, and they just started shooting. Now, I'm not sure how that became a police procedure anywhere, but it's wrong. Stop doing it, ass. But people have to live their lives. Lives suck enough without the cops kicking their doors in. Get a warrant, jerks. Anyway, 2013, the Pope Francis I was elected. Yeah, was elected. Not
First South American, Central American Pope.
Yeah, Pope Francis the First. You want to know his name? Jorge Mario Bergoglio. Bergoglio. That's actually probably, it's kind of fun to say. Bergoglio. Please have to say it since.
And this is Francis.
In 1938, the political union between Austria and Germany was announced, making the Nazis even stronger. Yay! World War II just around the corner, folks. This day in history.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that has been Allison here. Oh, sorry?
You watch your Oscars?
No, I didn't. Were they happening?
Yeah, they had pretty. I watched the first the first hour. I recorded it even, but
okay.
It was pretty good to start. But you know how it drags with the 15-minute commercial breaks and present no award whatsoever, and then they gotta say, "Oh, here's all the Grammy-nominated songs," and I'm like, you know, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're just, what the fuck was that? You know, anyway. And so yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis won. I saw that.
Yeah, for
she gave a great speech.
EEAAO.
Everything Everywhere All at Once, but she won for Best Supporting Actor.
Have you watched that film?
No, I haven't watched anything.
No, we should watch it. I've watched it 3 times. We should watch it again.
I want to watch the movie she was in called Knives Out. Have you watched that? I watched it on the air. You watched it? That was a good movie. That's what we went with. We've both seen it. Okay. All right. That's today, March 13th, 2020.
That has been Allison here from windy Holland. It's literally like a storm outside. I can see the trees going back and forth. So I will not be going outside. Have a good evening, afternoon, morning, and we'll see you tomorrow for some more exciting news about, I guess we're going to check out the first 4 of the March Madness and see who won.
No. You can make the picks. The games are not till tomorrow night. Okay? We're not going to do nothing with them. I mean, we can pick them. Okay. Anyway, 3 minutes. And from the United States, where we've lost an hour, and I'm going to go looking for it. I'll bring it back tomorrow. You can see what it looks like. And at least a half hour of it anyway. And this is Roger for the United States. Have a good morning.
All right. See ya.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons. And follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.